what Purdy said on Tuesday was that he went numb immediately when he got hit. And then over the course of the game, when he started to throw, it immediately really hurt. And in fact, it actually really hurt him even when he just handed off. It hurts him when he moves his arm. So it's significant pain. What we don't know, what was not reported, is the degree to which his elbow is torn. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, etc. I would say, not being a doctor, I'm optimistic that he's not going to need Tommy John surgery, which is reconstructive, and that if he needs surgery, which it sounds like he will, he would just need what people have been calling a repair. The difference, as I understand it, is that the reconstruction tends to occur. Jake Delhomme needed UCL reconstruction. He had Tommy John. Big Ben had Tommy John. Pitchers have Tommy John. But when Delhomme hurt his elbow, just like when Big Ben hurt his elbow, it was throwing the ball, meaning that the tear in the elbow was an overuse injury.
Which is how it happens to pitchers too, correct?
Which is how it happens to pitchers, from over and over. That's not what happened to Brock. Brock's arm got pulled back and the tendon got snapped. And the difference between a repair and a reconstruction depends on the quality of the tendons available. So if the tendons were clean snapped, in theory, like happened to Brock, then it's easier to, I don't know if this is exactly how it works, sew them back together. When it's an overuse injury, the tendons are frayed, and that's when they have to, in the case of Delhomme, they took a tendon from, a reconstruction means they take a tendon from somewhere else in your body or from a cadaver, and they attach that to your existing tendon. So it has to take, which is why the rehab process is longer. When it's your own, when they're just sewing back what's already there because the tendons are not frayed, they're good quality tendons, then the recovery time is shorter. That said,
man, your arm's a lot stronger. Yeah. Bill from Texas died, 50 years old, died from cancer. Big time baseball player in high school, just a little stronger.
We took his ACL, we put it in there. Man, he was fast. Delhomme actually said, despite the full reconstruction, his elbow recovery, he was throwing a Nerf football within 4 months, and Delhomme was cleared to play in 7 months. And his quote, I read this article from 2019 that was about Big Ben. Delhomme actually said he felt so much better after he snapped his elbow because he was experiencing a lot of elbow pain. I think Ben was also. He had a lot of elbow pain because his arm was about to blow.
Yeah. It's like when guys start feeling the sore Achilles and then it pops, within a year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not what was going on with Brock. So Delhomme said it was a relief, like physically a pain relief when his elbow snapped and he came back better. And Delhomme eventually came out. Delhomme had a hip injury. His elbow ended up being fine the rest of his career. So I'm pretty optimistic about Brock from a UCL standpoint. The other reason, hearing him talk, if you watch him, one of the things he said, and I'm paraphrasing, he actually said it pretty eloquently, was that, through being the last pick of the draft and having kind of this, even though the timeline wasn't long, he was a long shot to become an NFL quarterback. And he's always said that he's kept an even mind. His family keeps him grounded. His faith in God keeps him grounded. And what he said today, Tuesday, was, I'm excited. This is going to be a test to see if I can be everything I say that I've been. And he didn't say it in some braggy way. He didn't say it in some bullshit. I thought it was just a really interesting perspective for a young guy. Like, I say that I stay grounded and I stay positive and I stay in the moment and I keep an even keel and all that stuff because of my family and because of me and God and all that. Well, now I'm going to put to the test, like, basically, can I be everything that I say that I am? That it was a really impressive, I thought, kind of performance by Brock today.
Well, I think one thing on a positive note it lets him do is definitely get a little stronger. I just think from a workout standpoint, a rehab standpoint, just maybe put on a little, I guess some of his upper body, he won't be able to lift as hard, but it does just feel maybe he can just fill out a little bit in his time rehabbing and lifting because he won't be able to play football. Now, maybe he won't be able to do as much as I'm saying because he doesn't, you can't push the arm, but he's not a guy that really needs the mental reps. You'd say clearly he had a pretty good understanding of mentally what he was doing immediately. I'm not saying that doesn't hurt, or it wouldn't help to get reps in the off season, but never ideal when you have to miss practice. But also on the bright side is that, the other quarterback that, I guess he essentially Wally Pipped is going to get all the reps, and he needs the reps, and he just wouldn't get the same amount of reps if they were both healthy. Like Brock would get more. Brock would just run with the ones, and Trey would run with the twos, assuming those are the two quarterbacks. But I always get a little unsure with timelines. Every guy's a little different. So it's just, some guys, if you told me it was 4 months, if you told me it was 8 months, who knows, Maybe on the bright side is that his he was completely fine before, right? It was a freak injury, not some wear and tear, like a tire. It's one thing if a tire just pops, like you can patch it up, right? Or replace the tire. It's different than an elbow injury, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes you can see the tread on a tire going down and all of a sudden it rips. That wasn't the case with his elbow, right?
Yeah. Yep. It was not, remember the preseason Matthew Stafford's elbow was sore. Remember that story?
And there's a chance his elbow's never the same.
That it might need to be, even if it hasn't. That's where it's tough, right? Is what if your elbow isn't injured enough to the point that you need surgery, but it's just the only way to ever be pain-free again is to get surgery.
Yeah.
But no one gets preemptive Tommy
John.
Well,
no one's like, yeah, just cut my Achilles and then give me a new one. You would never do that.
Let's go bionic. Yeah. So anyway, that's the latest with Brock. I'm sure there'll be more news on that. I think the other thing you have to consider is the Niners now for 2 years have had surgery situations that have not really been all that straightforward. Now, Jimmy's surgery was not straightforward because him and his agent were kind of also playing a game, trying to force a release, that type of thing. But Trey's situation was not straightforward. Trey got hurt. Trey got surgery. Trey then needed a second surgery. So, and you said this immediately on Sunday, whatever the timeline is, you still, if you're the one getting the surgery, you don't wake up and go, 6 months from now, I'll be ready to roll. Like it takes 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. You're getting regular checkups. You're checking on the thing. Did the surgery work? Did your body react the way they wanted it to? So
think about this. Trey said today he's going to be cleared, he thinks, in about 4 weeks. So by the time OTA start, how long has that been? Right? You're talking basically half of September, October, November, December, January. I mean, you're talking 6 months.
Yeah.
With his shattered ankle, and when you say cleared, like, would he be full go at practice? So he's probably another 2 months. That's a 7-8 month. Now he had his ankle shattered, but these timelines, they're a fluid situation. It's easy to say 4 weeks now. Nothing's going on in 4 weeks, right? If they actually had practice in the middle of March, would he be able to run around?
Yeah.
Potentially. We've seen a lot of guys come back for the Niners. They're on the sideline. You and I have been to enough practices. He's cleared. We're taking it easy. We're just easing him in. And that's the right way to handle it, right? These guys are coming off Trey, a major leg injury. And I'd say specifically with him throwing, you don't want another rip. You don't want to have to go back in. Like, you want this thing to hold. I would say they would be extra cautious with his elbow coming back.
Yeah.
So whatever the month is, like after the surgery happens, whatever is released by the team, like we expect 5 months, I would add a month.
He's throwing, but it's only 10, no throws of over 10 yards.
It's the most important thing he has on his body, his ability to throw, right?
Yeah, eyesight, but yeah.
Yeah, besides like eyesight and like his feet to stand. I mean,